Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Beacon Board of Education. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Larry Cohen.
Here.
Betsy Dennis.
Here.
Jennifer Edge.
Here.
Christine Galbo.
Right. Yeah. Excuse.
Frank Burnett.
Here.
Georgia Patchen.
Here.
Mary Beth Stevens. Here. Bill Zopp.
Here.
Melissa Thompson.
Here. Mr. Hilbert, will you review the fire exits?
The fire exits at the rear of the auditorium. I'm sorry, what? Okay.
Please stand for a moment of silence for Lorraine Tyrell, retired school monitor in the Beacon School District. Thank you. Would you like to welcome?
We welcome everyone to our board meeting. Our intention this evening is to, if we can, have an expedited board meeting because of the weather. And I'm pleased that there's some people here that we could recognize you for your fine work, although we did send the message that it was optional. So thank you for coming out. And please don't stand on ceremony. After you're recognized, if you would choose to go home, that will be fine. If you'd like to stay and shut the lights on the way out, that would be good too. At this time, I'd like to ask the Director of People Personnel Services, Mr. Mulhern, to come down.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to have a minute or two just to honor a couple of people who are very important members not only of the PPS department but of the Beacon City School District. March is National Social Work Month, and we have 4 fabulous social workers in this district that I'd like to introduce. But before I introduce them, and I'll be brief, we deal with a lot. It's not just about academics. We deal with a lot of family needs. We deal with a lot of student needs that are sometimes extraordinary. And they challenge us all to be helpful not only as school administrators and teachers, but as human beings. And sometimes that falls to a delegation to people who are trained in that area. So we have 4 social workers who work together tirelessly to help us out, to help the families so that their children can succeed in school. 3 of them are here. One called me on my way here. She lives in Peekskill. The roads are getting bad, so she asked if it was okay. I said, you can watch it on television. And that would be Elizabeth Botero, who is a social worker working between Glenham and J.B. Forrestal schools, and she's been with us 8 years, and she's fabulous. So hopefully the sound is good. She can hear it on live on television. I'd also like to introduce the 3 social workers who are here, and I'd like to start with Mr. Kurz. Ken, if you could just acknowledge yourself, rise. Ken has been with us for 7 years. He's the social worker assigned to the middle school. He comes to us with a lot of clinical background, having worked for Astor Services, and he knows a lot about mental health services for children, which helps our kids out a lot. And he's just an endless, tireless worker, and we really appreciate him. Thanks for being here tonight, Ken. I'd also like to meet introduce Rachel Fiala. Ms. Fiala is the social worker for Beacon High School, and she comes to us with a background in transitions for young people with developmental disabilities as well as social challenges. And she came well schooled to us, recently tenured 2 years ago, so has been with us 5 years. She's absolutely fabulous, totally bilingual in terms of meeting the needs of a lot of our students. I want to thank her for being here tonight. Thank you.
I might add that if I'm not mistaken, recently I received a missive from NYSERD, and Rachel was honored.
That's correct.
So congratulations.
That's correct.
Well deserved.
And it was a fabulous picture of her, too. And the last, but certainly not least important, is Philistine Oliver. And Philistine, believe it or not, has been with the district 24 years. She only looks like she's 25, but she has been with the district for 24 years. So I can't say what her background was coming to us. I just know that every so often you come across very precious people in your work that can do it all, that know it all, that understand it all, and that's Philistine. I'm honored to have her as a member of the PPS department, and likewise as a member of the Beacon City School District. One last item. Philistine, along with the other social workers, have been meeting in their off hours at no charge to us to improve our Medicaid reimbursement rate by going over counseling reimbursements so that Medicaid bills are up to snuff and we can get reimbursement on that. They don't have to do that. Philistine in particular, Mr. Kurz, Ms. Montero, and Ms. Fiala, they've all done it, and I want to publicly thank them for their dedication above and beyond their responsibilities to help us all out, and most of all to help our children. So to honor all of our social workers, again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we appreciate you coming out tonight, and we readily appreciate everything that you do every day for the children of Beacon. Now we get down to, while we're introducing folks, we have someone in the audience that has been appointed recently. I know that the board met, but it's our new Human Resources, and that's Cheryl Frazier-Woods. Cheryl is making herself at home in central office. Cheryl, following Frank's lead, does come to Beacon with a wealth of experience. She has a graduate degree in Human Resources, and we're looking forward to your long association with Beacon School. So thanks for coming out. Glad to see the administrators here as well, and guests. You guys do have to stay. Since we're not at Sergeant School, Tark is off the hook for tonight, but we'll, the other administrators, as soon as they heard that, we didn't hear the end of it, so you're not going to get by scot-free this year. We'd like to, if with the board's permission, I'd just like to talk briefly about the special education budget. You received all the background information. What we have in front of us at this time in the budget process is really apples to apples. It's the last year's budget with a increase represented in the contractual salary lines, a small, modest increase for the tuition costs, and that's based on what PPS projects actuals for this coming year, and just the increase per the BOCES budget. So you see that it's a very cost-effective budget that we believe will continue to provide the quality of services to our children. So I would ask you if you have any questions, and if not, we would go on to the next item. Now, let me look around and see if anybody has anything. Thank you. As you know, the budget process, it's worth mentioning, we're all waiting with a great deal of anxiety to see what's going to happen with the legislature, with some of the state aid numbers. And we're hoping that they're promising that by the end of this week they may have a budget. And we're not hoping for speed, we're just hoping for a little more of their largesse, so that with additional state aid, it will allow us to continue our programs as we enjoy them this year. So we'll keep you posted. The next piece of strictly business that we've been working on is reported to the board. Earlier we had a presentation about an energy performance contract, if you recall, and that process continued, and as reported to the board in your notes, with our engineering firm, Anne-Marie and Henry, listened to 3 presentations, looked at all the proposals that they had, and ultimately, after we powwowed with our engineering company, we're recommending Ameresco as the company that we would move forward in the process. And all I would ask the board now, based on those numbers, if you are comfortable giving us the go-ahead, we would encourage them to move ahead in preparing documents with more specifics. Just briefly, as you recall, the energy performance contract provides a method with no cost to the district that we can upgrade our facilities and make them greener, not color-wise, energy efficient-wise, and much more cost-effectively. Matter of fact, over the 18-year lifespan of the financing, the way the state structures it, there will be a positive cash flow to the district, so it's a win-win. And actually, as I'm looking over it, Mr. Cohen, we pointed out last time we discussed it, it is guaranteed. Is that tacit acceptance? I don't think a formal motion.
Is the next step, now that you've chosen a provider, is the next step for them to make a proposal to the district, or is it for them to actually go around and do the actual assessment?
They have done an assessment.
They've done the physical district assessment already?
They have done the physical assessment. That's what their proposal was based on. And
so is the next step for them to make the actual proposal of what actions?
Yes. Yeah, and that would be in the form of a contract. So we would like to, if I have your blessing, to move ahead and have them prepare the legal documents. We'll have them reviewed by the engineers and by our attorneys, and then we'll give you the full report, and then you can really decide, based on the firm numbers, if that's beneficial to the district, if you like to make that commitment or not.
I have a question maybe for Mike or Anne-Marie. I mean, normally when you put something out for bid, you go with the lowest bid that meets the terms of the bid. In this case, Ameresco is not the lowest. Is that because we don't have to go with the lowest because it's a performance-based contract, or is it something that they didn't really, the other guys did not meet the minimum requirements of their RFP?
Yeah, it's a performance-based contract, so it's a bit counterintuitive from what we're used to. In essence, we want the people that can do the most for us. So it's actually the highest bid. It provides the highest return in energy savings and the highest return actually in money back to the district over the 18 years. And I think we did indicate, or Anne Marie indicated in her notes, a couple of the things that made that difference. But you'll see that delineated in the documents we'll provide in the next step.
Okay.
May I have a motion for executive session?
Motion to adjourn to executive session to review collective negotiations with the CSEA, matters leading to the employment of a particular individual and the employment history of a particular individual. And the board will return as soon as possible.
Comments or questions?